welcome to the next one of my photography adventures. So yeah, those who normally follow what I do and vlog about will notice a slight difference to the format of this one, and I think the title might be a bit of a giveaway about why that may be too. And yeah, I'm quite excited to be talking about this absolutely beautiful camera today. I'm not going to bore you with all the specs. All I can talk about is what I've seen inside the camera, and yeah, I am really liking this bit of gear. I'm just going to say that straight from the offset here. It is really nice. Now, I sold all my X series stuff in 2020. I've been using it since 2016. I love Fujifilm gear. It's been an absolute game changer for me, ditching all the DSLR stuff I had and moving over to that, but that's a whole other story. I was working in the camera retail world when the GFX was released. Could never afford one then, but I'm fortunate enough to be able to, was able to buy myself one in 2020 when I bought the 50S2, and that was just fairly new, round about that time there as well. The autofocus on that was relatively okay, but I wasn't using it for that. Mostly what I shoot is landscape work, buildings, that sort of thing, really slow paced, which suits medium format really well. Medium format is it's a beautiful, slow paced medium to be working with, and it suits me to a T. I go out for sunrise. I'm really happy if I get one decent photo. That's what I strive for, portfolio-worthy images. And having my 50S2 as part of that workflow just suits me to a T. But the 100S2 is slightly different. It's had quite a big upgrade in the processor. It's now on the is it the X5 processor, and yeah, that is pretty powerful. So it's quite a big change. That's what's in the 100 so the big daddy of the GFX cameras, and yeah, that's not something that I'm going to need. But things I was missing from my 50S, probably the biggest thing I'd say was the 4K stuff. I used to shoot quite a lot of stock and upload that onto places for that to be used, and being able to shoot in 4K is something I've missed quite a lot over the time. This is something which is built into this model of the camera, and the fact that it's a bit more compact than the 100S, and size is something that's really important for me with my camera, or the setup that I use. I don't want to be having a massive bulky bag. The 100 is just that bit bigger, and it just doesn't sit in the camera bags that I use. The Low Pro Whistler, it's just a little bit too tall for what I need from it. So yeah, this is just going to tick that box really well. So over the few weeks I've had this camera, I've shot quite a lot with it, and yeah, some stuff I wouldn't normally be shooting, and some bits and pieces that, yeah, is my bread and butter, as I said. So the landscape stuff, I'll show you quite a few images from that I've shot. What else did I do? I also took it to go photograph the search and rescue dogs who I volunteer with as well. So yeah, a bit of fun with that, although there was a full-on training session, so yeah, getting many images was a bit tricky, but I got a couple of portraits with that. I then used it on a workshop that we were shooting, and that was just crazy. The low light capabilities of this camera is pretty sweet, and yeah, and wait until you see some of the photos on that. I've got some of the images, so I'll show you what they were like before edited, and given like I don't edit a lot. I'd rather be out shooting, just to say straight away. So they've got like a 2 or 3 minute edit in Lightroom, and I'll show you how powerful you can get your images to change, just a few sliders changing around and stuff like that as well. I also photographed a music gig as well that my stepdaughter was putting on in Norwich City Centre as well, and again some real low light sort of challenges there for the camera. And I said I have shot festivals with the 50S last summer and the summer before as well, and yeah, when the light's good it works really well and the details there, but it did struggle a little bit with in the much lower light, but this one here, I mean, I wasn't even thinking about the autofocus whatsoever. Whenever I aimed at a subject, it was just locking on, bang, no ifs, no buts, and all the face detection, and it's just absolutely crazy. It's just you point at your subject and it's just locked on. You zoom in and you can see people's eyelashes, you can see hairs on their face. It's just like that cropping potential from what you then shoot is absolutely bonkers. And yeah, it means you don't have to be carrying around massive lenses or massive changing lenses a lot when you're inside the gigs. You can use something with a little bit more reach and rely on that crop a little bit when you need it as well. And yeah, it's just, I've just really, really enjoyed using this bit of gear. Unfortunately, it doesn't mean I'm probably going to end up grabbing myself one as well. I'm not going to be able to afford it straight away. I wish I could. But yeah, the price on this is realistic though. You've got to remember that. For what it can do, it's a tool at the end of the day. It's something that allows us to create and also generate more income as well. It's definitely a working camera. There's no novelty around this. It is something that you would use, and I would have in my kit bag and use for commissions, 100%. I've really enjoyed using it. It feels natural in my hand when I'm shooting with it as well, and it's just so much fun. So just running through one of the big talking bits about all the cameras nowadays is the film simulations, and I'm just scrolling through now having a little look in here. So we've got Velvia, we've got Astia Soft, Classic Chrome, we've got Real Ace, that's the big one I think everyone's going to be talking about, ProNeg High, ProNeg Standard, Classic Neg, Nostalgic Neg, Eterna Cinema, Eterna Bleach Bypass, Acros, Monochrome, and then Sepia on there as well. So yeah, nice lineup on there as well. Have got obviously the 6, you've got the custom controls you can have on the top as well, so you have 6 presets stuck inside there too as well. So yeah, that's pretty sweet having all that inside there as well. I'll start showing you some of the photos now that I've shot with the camera since the time I've had it. A few of these I'll show you in Lightroom, so I can show you what 100 megapixels gives you when you're zooming in, and also how well some of the autofocus has behaved as well. So this example here was shot at the Tulip Fields. It was an after dark event. We had 5 performers shooting away with 40 people I think we had attended the workshop, so my attention was more on them, making sure they had a good experience. But I did pick up my camera and rattle off a couple of frames for myself as well, and yeah, I was just blown away by how well this performed, as I chatted about earlier on. This was just to give you an idea of the setup, we had the Godox V1 light in a 120cm octabox with a grid, probably about 4 foot away from the model off to the left hand side of the frame, and we're triggering that, and yeah, the flash trigger just sat on there really, really nicely. And yeah, this was ISO 200mm, obviously with the 100 to 200mm, f5.6 at 1/125th of a second, shutter speed, image stabilization turned on as well, and you can see on here the detail which we have preserved as well. Absolutely lovely. Depth of field drop off as well on that lens is just beautiful as well. You can start to see it starts to run off a little bit as well. Nice and balanced though throughout the whole shot on there, and yeah, you can really start to appreciate how much detail we get on this camera. It's pretty special really, but the big thing here is the autofocus and the fact that this was near on dark when we were shooting a lot of these images, so with that you can actually start to appreciate how well this is performing. It's quite important. And another one here, this is another good example. So this was similar sort of settings, I believe. Yes, it was like 125th of a second, ISO 250, 170mm on there as well. And when we jump onto here, you can just see some of the editing potential on there, how much light we actually had to work with as well. And yeah, the autofocus is just locked onto that first time, and the photos either side of this as well, the focus was locked on really, really well, but the flames were just a little bit nicer in this image that I chose on here as well. And yeah, really, really happy with that one there. A little bit grainier on this one here because I've had to really ramp up the exposure and the shadows as well. So I've actually gone up 2.4 stops on the exposure. Shadows have been pushed up over 50%, whites up over 35% as well. So quite a bit of work to bring the image out, but I think it works really, really well. and yeah, it's kind of set the scene and the mood of the whole event that we were running as well. And yeah, nice charity event that we organised, and it's just great to be able to snap a few photos as we were running through that as well. As you can see with this image here, this is straight out of camera. I've not done any editing whatsoever on this. So this was shot with the 100S2 with the 100 to 200mm lens on there and just the hood on it. Shot it at f5.6 at 167mm, ISO 5000, 250th of a second, and yeah, with that it's just behaved exactly as you want it to, not missed the focus whatsoever. And if we jump in 100% zoom, you can start to see the shape of the earrings, plaits in the hair, all the detail is really there. Much the same for the photo before as well. Focus is there, focus straight after on the next shot as well, exactly the same too. It is just absolutely just nailed all the photos that we wanted to from on this shoot. Yeah, no reservations with using this camera in gig photography like this. Thank you very much for checking out my vlog on the 100S2. I hope it's answered a few questions about the camera. As promised, it's not all about the specs, it's about using the camera from a landscape photographer's perspective, with a few other bits thrown in too. If you liked what you've seen, please do hit the subscribe button. Until the next adventure, take care and goodbye.